What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we got some news here about the upcoming weekend events. So just wanted to fill you guys in. I know I'm a little bit late on the news here, but hopefully this will help some of you guys out if you guys missed it. So first, let's jump into the first part here. So there is a progressive event. I mentioned this yesterday. They didn't give us the news yesterday. And instead, they gave us the single day lizard progressive event, which is going on right now. To be fair, it's kind of a cool progressive event. You got Teox here, which is super nice. So it gives you a chance to get him, but it's only a one-day event. But for tomorrow, we have a multi-day event. You can kind of see here, it's 72-hour event. We have up for grabs Freya, Amok, the first Satrap, Underpriest Brogni, Dune, Herald Zerharis, and Fina, Blade of Arivia. Voids will be Warlord, Cardio, and Riho Bonespear. So some pretty good ones here, not necessarily insane ones. So we got Freya here. She was a guarantee during the Asgard events last year. She was part of the Deck of Fate, which was absolutely insane. It was full training and soul stones. I remember that, having PTSD from that. But yeah, she's a really good champion. Glad I got her, of course. And then after that, we have Amok, which is one of the newer champions here. Here he is. He's the Toad. Such a cool aesthetic here. Now his key ability here is his A2, decreased resistance, decreased speed, and pain link. Also comes with a big heal here on a 3-turn cooldown. It seems to be kind of catered to maybe Chimera. It does handle a couple of the Chimera debuffs that you really want. But honestly, I've never really seen him show up in any kind of teams, unfortunately. So yeah, he's probably going to be helpful for people still progressing through Chimera, but not necessarily endgame Chimera. After that, we have Underpriest Brogni. Now, Underpriest Brogni definitely works with the current like Titus teams, but he doesn't grow the shields as quickly as Wixwell. So his A2 here has a chance to, not chance, sorry, but he grows the shield based on the damage he deals. So you have to build him out for insane damage. So ignore defense, big stats, etc. But yeah, he's not as good as Wixwell, but he can be an alternative to Wixwell if you want to do it this way. He also brings block debuffs and increased attack with the shield as well. He's just generally good for progression, good for clan boss and stuff like that. He'll be up for grabs. After that, we have Zerharis here. Zerharis from the Barbarians. Actually a pretty good support champion. He has an interesting kit here that seems to be pretty strong. He comes in with speed in all battles aura. He has this cool buff here on the A3 intercept buff with block debuffs and increased speed on all allies. This is on a 3-turn cooldown. It's actually pretty solid. And then his A2 here has a 100% chance to steal all buffs from one enemy, then applies a buff spread. So he takes all the buffs that you steal and then you spread it to your whole team and then places block buffs and block actives on the enemy. It's actually a pretty crippling ability if you can get it off. Too bad it doesn't like guarantee steal Stone Skin or something like that. That would be insane. But yeah, because Stone Skin, you know, always has that 50% chance to stop you, then you might not be very effective there. But otherwise, he's going to be pretty cool champion. Good base stats overall, 108 base speed. And then lastly, probably the main prize from this progressive event for the weekend will be Fina, the Blade of Arivia. Now, Fina is part of some of the highest damage dealing Trunda teams, highest dealing Titus teams. She's a massive damage enabler. So she comes in here with a 3-turn cooldown, block debuff, block damage, counterattack on one ally. And if the target of this skill is not herself, reset the cooldown of all the target's skills. And they have a little bit of text here saying that this skill can't be reduced. Yeah, so this on a 3-turn cooldown, incredibly good. She also has a passive that basically gives her turn meter. So she can cycle back to this really quickly. Obviously, give her sets like Impulse, Merciless, Reflex, so she can get this back quickly. She also has a team-wide increased attack, crit rate, and crit damage. So that means you can build your big damage dealers with less crit rate, and then they'll still do lots and lots of damage. She's a great champion, although she doesn't bring turn meter boost, like for example, like Lamasu. She does bring a ton of buffs, which helps building out your damage dealers do more damage a little bit easier. And if you somehow can get 3 faction allies on the same team, this can be really nuts. For example, allies will ignore 5% of the target's defense for each buff on them. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to reach 100% ignore defense and yeah, basically build out for more damage that way. So that's the non-voids. I think Fina is going to be the big prize there. For the Void Champions, we have from the Orc faction, we have Warlord. The OG lockout champion here. Big thing about this one is the turn meter deplete, which is very crippling. Comes in with block debuff, shield, and heal. Warlord's still very good. He was a big carry for me when I picked him up, especially for PvP. I don't use him as much anymore since Fabian kind of fills his role a little bit more. But they're kind of different. Warlord's nice that he's a Void champion. After Warlord, in terms of the Voids, we have Cardiel from the Sacred Order, I want to say. Sacred Order, yes, there he is. Void champion, one of the best looking guys, best looking champions in the game. He's awesome. Base stats are okay, kind of average-ish. He's a Void champion, right? He's expected a little bit better. Speed in all battles, but 19%. Got an A1 team heal. Got a 3-turn cleanse, block debuff, revive on death. Still one of the better 3-turn cleanse, block debuff abilities in the game. And he's been in the game for at least 3 years now, maybe 4 years now. And then he has one of the better ally attacks as well. 4-turn cooldown ally attack, increased crit rate, increased crit damage. And then has a skill reduction if it kills somebody. So not too bad there. The passive, also very good if you're going up against some of these different factions, Demon Spawn, Undead Horde, Night Revs. And he also has a kind of passive attack. He ally attacks with the rest of your team with a 15% chance up to 30% chance. And then he just pitches in some extra damage and heals with those A1s. Good overall champion. Good in lots of areas, to be honest. You can use him in Arena, Clan Boss, Hydra, Chimera, all over the place. He's just really solid. Super good champion. So he's going to be up for grabs. And last Void champion here is going to be Riho Bone Spear from the Shadow Kin here. Still very good champion. She has basically all the debuffs under the sun in one move on a 3-turn cooldown. Very good against single target bosses, for example, Clan Boss, Chimera. Also brings a 3-turn cleanse, big heal from this as well, and a block debuff. It's actually very good. The big heal is very clutch. A1 drops continuous heals, and the passive here can be good. Too bad it's on a 3-turn cooldown, but basically whenever she receives debuffs, it sends it right back to the attacker. You can kind of find some cool ways to use this once in a while. For example, like Hard Dragon sprays poison at you. She throws it right back at the dragon for some poisons. You could even use Riho Bone Spear against Chimera. The Viper form would spray poisons on everybody, and then she would just send that back right away. Base stats a little bit low, to be honest, but it is what it is. She's a solid champion, one of the better looking champions in the game as well. I really like her aesthetic as well. Was a Void guarantee at one point. I believe she was the first Void guarantee ever. 90 Void shards back in the day. So anywho, this is the progressive event that's going to be happening tomorrow. That's going to extend through the weekend. Now, this event will be paired up with the Orcs Heroes Path. So the Orcs Heroes Path here will consist of pulling shards and dungeon diving, so accessories and artifacts. Orcs Path, you get to choose between Shayak or the Kro Khad 5-star soul. Now this is a big decision for you guys. I made a video yesterday about it, but ultimately if you have Packmaster Shayak, then you're going to go for the 5-star soul. But if you don't have either one, you probably have to go for the champion over the soul, because the soul is very much a luxury. You must have Shayak to make the combo work and do really good results for you. So that's going to be your goal, and don't expect it to come cheap. From the previous Heroes Path events where they feature a champion plus a 5-star soul, it's looking like 20 Sacred Shards worth of points each. So a total of 40 Sacred Shards, or roughly thereabouts. In this case, since it's dungeon diving, you'll be able to spend gems as well to alleviate some of the pressure from your shards. Now, in terms of what you can spend energy on for the weekend, we do have this Lizards only spider tournament that's happening that will have a Prism Shard as the first prize. 2100 energy for the Prism Shard pull is, I think, kind of expensive relative to the difficulty of this kind of event. Lizardmen only. You can do this relatively easily on low difficulty for Spider. Just have some lizard food, maybe use a Saurus or a Basilisk, and then they can just AoE down the waves on very low levels. So that's one way to do it. You can easily get the 2100, but obviously wait until the Orcs Path is open before you do the dungeon diving here. There's also going to be a dragon tournament that's going to be lizards only as well. So you can be farming the lizard only dragon tournament as well for the Orcs path. Other than that, it's going to be probably campaign. So campaign, you can double dip the training, you can double dip the dungeons as well. Now, the big thing about the training is that they're going to be opening on Saturday a training tournament to earn Ramantu's 6-star soul. Now, Ramantu is one of obviously the free Lizardman champion that you can pick up from his missions. So he's going to be the headline champion from Lizardman Day, I guess. But yeah, he's going to be up for grabs. His 6-star soul. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. You can do dungeon points, like in campaign. You can train stuff up. You can pull shards, you can pull mystery shards to basically fuel your training. But basically, there's some stipulations here in terms of what level you are and the minimum that you need to get them. So it says 20,000 here if you're level 100, 20,000 minimum to get his soul. I feel like that's a little bit expensive, or at least as a minimum, it's quite high. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I forget, but it feels like this is high. I feel like previously it was maybe like 15 or 12,000 or something, but for some reason this one is 20,000, which is quite high, quite prohibitive. And of course, it depends on what level you are. You're going to get a different Ramantu soul, but it's going to cost you less and less points. Keep in mind, it's going to be a tournament, so you can, basically get points by leveling, ascending, using skill tomes. So points can go up pretty quickly. Now, we had a tournament like this not too long ago. We had the Lydia 6-star soul training tournament. And I would say Lydia's soul is a lot more useful than Ramantu. Ramantu is probably harder to get in terms of the overall missions. They did make the tag team missions a little bit easier nowadays. But I find Lydia's overall use a lot more useful than Ramantu's. Currently, Ramantu has an interesting kit, right? He's one of the few champions that have block active, block passive skills. And then he brings a bunch of debuffs on a single ability as well. And he can hit okay. He has a stun, lockout ability on his A1. His passive is a little bit interesting. It's kind of like, hard CC. He kind of like can kick out of it a little bit quicker, but he falls shy of straight up being immune to it. It should have just made him immune to it or something. But yeah, he probably needs a little bit of a tweak, but it feels very unlikely that he'll ever get tweaked. In terms of overall use, I mean, if you had him at 6-star, you could probably put him maybe in a 9-piece Feral set, and he might see some use maybe for Chimera, maybe for Hydras, because Titus, if you can basically A3 down one head and then has a Feral set on, and then Titus goes in for one big smack on a single target, that could be some good damage. But his overall use case, I don't know, is going to warrant anybody really going super hard for him. But I mean, it would be nice, right? Because he would definitely benefit from accuracy, definitely benefit from speed. And to me, he's one of the best looking champions in the game. He's super cool looking. I like his color palette. Overall design is great. And it would be interesting. I mean, I would be interested in a 6-star soul, but I'm not too keen on going crazy for it. Just because I knew that Lydia would have been way more useful for me. That's why I kind of went crazy for her soul. But for Ramantu, I don't really use him currently. And I don't know if I would use him if I were to bump, if I were to get his soul. I don't know if I would use him, to be honest. Anyways, it's going to be a 4-day tournament, guys. 4-day tournament. So anything can happen in these 4 days. We can go over the tournament details when it opens, of course. But generally you want to be, double dipping, triple dipping. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on this weekend, guys. You guys can let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested in any of these. What do you guys think? I know the Packmaster and the Kro Khad soul is going to be one of the biggest things that people are looking forward to or dreading, depending on if you have any souls, shards or not. I think a lot of people were thinking it's going to be soul stones and kind of preparing for that. To be honest, I thought maybe soul stones would have been a very likely kind of requirement for the Orcs path, but shards and divers, I mean, you can't really be too upset that it's shards and divers, as opposed to like divers and soul stones, for example. Shards is just generally a little bit easier than soul stones, a little bit more inclusive. But anyways, I just showcased you guys my Spider 5 Hard 5 team here. I got Sulfurion soloing with 4 lizard food. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the Spider tournament here. It's in, like I said, it's an easy prism. It's easy prism crystal. Maybe some primal shard fragments as well. Never mind, no primal shard fragments, unfortunately. And they've yet to release the prism shard summon pool info yet. So stay tuned for all that, of course, in game. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all these events coming this weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.